morning, squad. Happy Monday. Welcome back to MadMizzy Sports Morning Show, the number one spot for everything sports talk, sports news, sports debate in the morning. And we got a beautiful Monday rundown today. Of course, we got to break down Sunday afternoon and what was my biggest takes from the NFC East looking like the best division in the NFL. Are the Rams going to make the playoffs because they look absolutely putrid? And then, of course, I got to move to breaking down Monday Night Football and the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Then I got to go back to Saturday, break down Saturday a little bit and what's the best team or who is the best team in college football. But to end it off, we got to end it off with Draymond Green stepping away from the Golden State Warriors for a few days from the fallout of him punching Jordan Poole in the mouth in that video being leaked out and for the world to view and see. I got to touch on that and what that means for the Warriors moving forward. Let's get into it, gang. Now let's jump back to Sunday and another great afternoon and great slate of games. But I want to focus on the NFC East and its transformation from possibly the NFC least to the NFC Beast, and are they the best division in football? When I look at the NFC East right now, I got to say they are hands down the best division in football. When you look at their top three teams only having 2 losses between them, the Philadelphia Eagles still remaining the only undefeated team in the NFL at 5-0. You got Brian Daboll turning around the New York Giants at 4-1, beating the Green Bay Packers in London with a comeback victory down, 17 points in the second half. What a comeback. Saquon Barkley might be the offensive player of the year so far. He's definitely making a case for it. You look at Danny Dimes, he's developing. Then you fast forward, you look at the Cowboys and the way they've turned their season around after losing to the Buccaneers in the first game, losing their starting quarterback the first game, got the second most sacks in the NFL behind my San Francisco 49ers. That pass rush is just ridiculous. Micah Parsons is a beast. You look at Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard yesterday. That run game is back. They look like that run team that when Dak Prescott first entered into that starting lineup. So that bodes well for the Dallas Cowboys. And then like I already stated with the Philadelphia Eagles, they're just looking like the best team still in football, the way that they're executing on all 3 phases of the game. So I'm looking at the NFC East right now. And then you think about the Commanders should have won yesterday. Hey, man, I can't keep apologizing for Carson, man. This dude, man, I want to see him succeed so bad. And I think he's just pressing so much. He wants to succeed so bad. He wants to prove the doubters wrong so bad that he presses so much. But yeah, that NFC East is stacked. And 1-3 common denominator with all of those teams, the Giants, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. They can rush the passer and they can run the ball. So they're going to be tough outs just moving forward in general because they have a very, very good formula with 3 very good coaches. So yeah, I'm looking at the NFC East as the best division in football, baby. But let's move to the NFC West, man, where my San Francisco 49ers were the only team to get a W yesterday and are the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams a playoff team at this very moment. In my opinion, they are not a playoff team at this very moment. When you look at the 3 games out of the 5 games that they played, they scored less than 10 points or less in all 3 of those games. Scored 9 points against us, 10 points against the Bills, 10 points yesterday. Their offense is inept. They can't run the ball against any good defense right now, and they only have 2 offensive passing weapons right now, and that's Tyler Higbee, and you got, of course, Cooper Kupp. They got to get Allen Robinson involved. That's falling on Sean McVay, honestly, because when you look at Allen Robinson's time in Jacksonville and in Chicago, he's been a threat. He's been a baller out there. So for them not to be able to get him the ball in space or to get him the ball and opportunities for him to be successful is just a negative sign for them. Then you got to think about, I feel like they didn't really revamp that linebacking crew. You look at Bobby Wagner yesterday. Yes, it's still the name Bobby Wagner, but it's a reason that Seattle let him go. He's a step slow. He's still big. He still can make them tackles. He's still got some speed, but he's not the Bobby Wagner of old. So that really wasn't a true upgrade. And I think their defensive backs got exposed a little bit last year, and more specifically, Jalen Ramsey. So when you think about, you only really have one X factor on defense that you're fearful of, and that's Aaron Donald. Their offense can't run the ball, so they're giving it 3 and out. Aaron Donald's going to get wore down. You get what I'm saying? So for me, it's not looking too good over there in Los Angeles, and Matt Stafford has to turn it around and be that difference maker that he was last year. This year, he's got the turnovers, but he's not being that difference maker. He's not getting the touchdowns. can't keep taking those sacks, can't keep having those turnovers and not scoring any points. It's not going to last in the NFC. It's just not. You feel what I'm saying? So the Rams, to me, they better get that ship turned around fast, real fast, because it's not looking well. It's not looking well at all. Let's look forward into tonight's game of the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not sure which team is home. I think it might be the Vegas Raiders. I'm not sure. But the matchup I'm looking forward to in this game is just the Las Vegas Raiders run game versus that Kansas City Chiefs defense. Because the only chance that the Vegas Raiders have is keeping Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. The way that the Kansas City Chiefs are constructed this time around going up against the Vegas Raiders is kind of against what the strength of the Vegas Raiders are, and that's that pass rush. When you're getting the ball out quick and you running the ball like the Kansas City Chiefs are doing this year, that pass rush is kind of neutralized. So the main thing that they have to do is run the ball, convert third downs, and keep Patrick Mahomes on that sideline. Score touchdowns, don't score 3 points, and keep it a close game. But if they cannot run that ball, if they're going 3 and out, giving that ball back to Patrick Mahomes and that defense, I don't think Chandler Jones and Max Crosby is going to be enough to slow down that quick pace offense now that they not looking for deep shots. So you're not going to really have that time to get after Patrick Mahomes unless you sit there and sit on some of those short routes, which, I mean, you could do that, but Andy's going to make some adjustments to that. So I don't think that'll be a valuable option for the Las Vegas defense tonight. So I'm looking forward to, like I said, if Josh Jacobs can get rolling, keep the ball in the Las Vegas Raiders' hands. Don't get pass happy. I know y'all got Hunter Renfrow, y'all got Darren Waller, y'all got Devontae Adams, but don't get pass happy. Keep the Kansas City Chiefs on the sideline. Keep their time of possession down. Keep their number of possessions down, and keep it a close game. That's the only chance that the Vegas Raiders have, in my opinion, because Kansas City Chiefs are a buzzsaw, and Patrick Mahomes is going for, that second MVP? Third MVP? I think it's the second MVP. I'm not sure, but he's going for that MVP trophy this year. You feel what I'm saying? That race is getting real tight, though. Real tight. But let's move back to Saturday. And to me, who is the best team in college football? I'm looking at Saturday. I'm looking at the slate of games. My Michigan Wolverines slightly struggled in the first half against Indiana. Turned it on in the second half, as we typically do. Still another 100-yard game from Blake Corum. J.J. McCarthy played very well. You look at Georgia, they bounced back very strong. Stetson Bennett played a very awesome game. But I'm looking at these Ohio State Buckeyes. Bama, of course, got out with a win, but you didn't have Bryce Young. So that's why I'm leaning towards Ohio State as the best team in college football right now. I look at their slate of games, and the only close game they had was the first game against Notre Dame. And like I said, leading up to that game, the Ohio State Buckeyes typically tend to start off pretty slow. So I expected a pretty slow start. As long as they got the victory, they were going to turn out good. But you look at the rest of their games of immediately after that, and they've just been dominating offensively. You think about the touchdowns that C.J. Stroud's been putting up, the yardage he's been putting up, Marvin Harrison Jr. catching everything thrown in his vicinity. That offense looks stout. That defense looks better, scoring 45-plus points in every game ever since the first weekend of college football or their first game this season. So that offense just looks unstoppable. So for right now, I'm going to say that Ohio State looks like the best team in college football, but their defense is going to have to show a lot more as the competition stiffens. Everybody talk about my Michigan Wolverines schedule, but you can't just put Ohio State's schedule on a pedestal when Notre Dame is not turning out to be what we thought Notre Dame is going to be, and then the rest of their schedule isn't that tight anyway. So we'll see once both of our schedules getting a little stiffened up. Our first test is this Saturday, going up to Happy Valley and hosting Penn State Nittany Lions in the Big House. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, for right now, I got the Ohio State Buckeyes, and C.J. Stroud is the best team in college football right now. And that offense is just video game like. Shout out to Marvin Harrison Jr. You dig what I'm saying? Philly born. Now, before we get out of here, of course, we got to touch on the big news in the NBA. Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole in the mouth, lights out, video being leaked, and Draymond Green subsequently taking time away from the team to let everything cool down. What does this mean for the Warriors, and can they rebound from this? For the Warriors, I feel as though this isn't too big. This isn't too huge. This isn't nothing that's going to knock them off of striving to win back-to-back championships this year. It does, to me, just shine a light on what they may do with Draymond moving forward. If Draymond cannot continue to keep his tempers under control if he can't revert back to kind of what he was in his earlier days as far as his effectiveness offensively. He's still one of the best defensive players in the game, but offensively he's been way less effective over the past few seasons. Then I don't see him getting an extension. I'm gonna be honest, man. You look at a lot of the stuff that goes on, and eventually you gotta say, we appreciate what you've done, we paid you well, but all this stuff is not worth it, and you pay a person based on the investment you expect to receive back. And the way it's looking, and I feel like that's why Draymond is kind of acting out like this. He's seeing the writing on the wall with some of these younger players, with James Wiseman and Emmanuel Moody and all these dudes coming in, and he's becoming more expendable, because if James Wiseman and Emmanuel Moody get a little connection and a continuity with where Steph and Clay want the ball, guess what? Draymond is, you're literally, hey, listen, bro, now we understand his IQ defensively and all that, but like I said, if James Wiseman can catch up to that, then, hey, listen, it's going to be hard for Draymond to make up that ground. And then you still got Andrew Wiggins as a cornerstone on that defense. So, hey, Draymond got to get his act together, because I feel like a lot of people are looking at him like he can do whatever he wants and say whatever he wants without any repercussions or any backlash. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Warriors handle this situation. I don't think anything else will come of it, but it'll definitely be interesting to see if Draymond's going to get an extension with the Golden State Warriors, because I feel like the way they view him and the way they're weighing his contributions to the team with the antics that he brings is going to be reflected in an extension. If they feel as though the antics are too much, his temper is too much, he's snapping, you push KD away, you punched out Jordan Poole, or are they going to say, you've done enough, you can still bring enough to the table, we're going to give you that extension. We'll see when it comes that time, but I didn't like that from Draymond at all, man. I really don't. It's almost like I said, he's pushing because he doesn't know no other role other than that super, super tough Tony role to be on the Golden State Warriors. You get what I'm saying? Like Jordan Poole's a scorer, you know what I'm saying? 6th man of the year candidate, this, that, and the third, little splash brother. And it's almost like Draymond feel like he's probably getting overshadowed, especially with the light that Andrew Wiggins is getting. Hey, but you can't act out like that, man. You can't act out like that. You get what I'm saying? And I don't like that he didn't come out and make a little podcast or something like that. Because like people said, let anybody else in the NBA would have punched somebody lights out. Draymond would have had a podcast about that joint that same night. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, Draymond, you just got to do a lot better. But before we get out of here, you know, Monday, I like to send y'all off with a quote to send y'all week off on a strong note and get y'all motivated to dominate this week that's ahead of us. So I want to come with a quote from Muhammad Ali, and that quote is, "The will must be stronger than the skill," meaning that your will to be great must be stronger than your skills that you have to be great. You have to get up, you got to take that grind, you got to take those leaps of faith, and you got to believe more than you have that skill, because the belief is going to take you further than skill ever will. Let's have a great week. Y'all know what it is. MadMizzy Sports Morning Show. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, share, subscribe, listen, alert. MizzyWorld Entertainment. Gang.